Hey there, Wes Dove here with Dove Development and Consulting. We've done a deep dive on the importance of values for a foundation of every organization. We've talked about how we can do it. We've talked about even the consistency that we've got to really apply. And most recently, we've dug into how that really builds the cultures around our entire culture around those values. And when we do walk the walk and talk the talk consistently on a daily basis, we can get to where we're at now, and we can really work to build that consistency into our team's behavior and base it around those values that we talk about, that we explain, that we detail, that we exemplify, that we model on a routine basis in our own roles, but also when we have the chance in our team members' roles. So what I want to ask you as we're working here is, what do you expect to see when you show up at a Chick-fil-A? Now, recently or early on in this process, I referenced a study where McDonald's was consistently last on a customer experience thing, and Chick-fil-A for 10 consecutive years was first on that same survey, and they consistently perform outstanding. And what I would say is, if you've ever been to a Chick-fil-A, you know that you're going to get courteous service. You know that whether you're inside or in the drive-through, you're going to get taken care of quickly. You're going to get your food. I remember when our son worked there, they had a little timer, and they had a certain goal that all guests, they refer to, not customers, guests, received their food in a certain amount of time. And I don't remember what that time was, but it was fast. It was far faster than I'd ever get a milkshake at McDonald's, but you get my point on that. I would ask you, what do you expect to see from your team in exemplifying those values? And are we clear on those, not just in what they mean and what we've detailed to them and how they talk about the values, but what are the non-negotiables in how those values are really exhibited on a routine basis through their behavior, not just ours. And when we're jumping in and helping out with the role, but in the values that they're working to display in their own behavior day to day to day. What would anybody around them, anybody interacting with them, what would they see? And there's non-negotiables. I share some stories that, hey, Cindy's put up with my nonsense for close to 30 years. And there's been a lot of different areas that we've disagreed on. And that's okay. She can have her opinion and be wrong. It's okay. But the reality is, there's certain things that are non-negotiables. Our faith, our loyalty to one another, our principles, our values, if you will, have been the non-negotiables in our relationship. And that's what's really formed the bond that we have. And I would say in our teams, in our organizations, those values need to be just as non-negotiable. Hey, we can have differences of opinion. I reference this, if you dig into this in detail, I'll reference what I share in our recruitment, retention, and culture course about some diversity and inclusion and culture and some different things there. All are very important, but not necessarily the way that the media spins it and it makes the headlines. Diversity is important when it comes to thought process and experience and even backgrounds and so on. But that doesn't mean we're going to have equity or inclusion just because we have diversity. That's a whole different topic. But the reality is, we cannot have diversity in values. That's got to be in place, or there's going to be some major cracks in the armor. Now, the way we get those things, the way we consistently get those behaviors of our team to really be consistent and show our values, is we've got to recognize the behavior that we want to see. Recognize behaviors get repeated. And if you dig into this, I'll share a story about how I remember when our son was young, I was teaching him to play catch. We're throwing the baseball around, and how he was catching the ball, and how I was erring to the side of recognizing the behavior that I didn't want repeated, but it was only enforcing the wrong behavior. And I had to switch and really show him, here's what you do, and recognize that behavior anytime. So in those cases, in that case, and even with our teams, if we can recognize small wins, they grow to bigger wins, and we can eventually build into what we're going to look at next. And that's the legacy that we want to achieve through our values, but we do it through achievable and sustainable examples of those behaviors. I hope this serves you well. I hope this look at values really helps move the needle on how you can embed those values into everything your organization does. Now, if you've never accessed it before, I challenge you to work through the quick assessment that looks at what's killing your profitability. And I guarantee you, with some aspect of leadership, if you can tweak it, you're going to see measurable increases in profitabilities. The quick video assessment walks through, 8-10 questions, and it segments based on your responses, where you're at in your leadership role right now. It segments you into here's a low cost or a no cost digital solution. but maybe it's worth us having a one-on-one conversation so we can tailor something that really fits your individual needs and moves you forward. Maybe it's with your entire team to really capture that lost profitability that I guarantee you're losing if all those cylinders aren't clicking on the leadership aspects for your team. Make it a great day. Hope this serves you well.